Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode Talk of Dragon Ball. We finally made it to the tournament, the actual tournament, not the eliminatory rounds, but the actual tournament or elimination rounds, not the eliminatory rounds. What is that? We finally have the top 8, but before that, the boys search for Roshi until they find Roshi. However, Roshi was nowhere to be found. And Roshi explains that is because of the fact that he had to go to the toilet, and, well, the lines were long because of how packed this place is. There's something more behind that. But then, the finalists get called, so Goku and Krillin head over to the stadium, and Roshi vanishes as well. I wonder why. So, in the room of the finalists, of the top 8, I guess, we get to see the other opponents. We got some kind of, like, monster guy. We have a woman in here. We have an Indian guy. I think it's Indian. When they got a dot in their foreheads. Isn't that Indian? I think that's Indian. So we got an Indian guy, I guess. And we also have the smelly man from before. The one that I talked about in the last video that Bulma saw. Yep, his name is Bacterian, and he smells bad because he has never once in his life taken a bath. Or I guess brushed his teeth. Or wiped ever. Yeah, it's disgusting. What's wrong with you? Look, I don't necessarily care about the people who take a shower once a week. I don't have an issue with that. But never! What's wrong with you? So now we get the official top 8 placement. So battle number 1 is going to be Krillin versus Bacteria. So good luck, Krillin. Krillin grabs a number and he holds it up and he's like, yay, I grabbed the number. And everyone's like, oh no. Until Krillin looks at it and he's like, oh no, why? Battle number 2 is gonna be this new guy named Jackie Chun, this older man, who goes up against Yamcha. And also, he reminds me of someone, but I can't quite put my finger on who it is. The third fight is going to be Nam, the Indian guy, versus Ranfan, the woman. And then the final fight is gonna be Goku versus Jiren, the monster. And obviously, you're not allowed to hit people in their private parts. So Goku asks, what are private parts? So the guy has to kind of explain things, but he explains it like, you know, our boy parts. And then Ranfan is like, what about my parts? And look, I know that is supposed to be a joke, but let's be honest here. What about her parts? Technically, this is why men and women shouldn't fight each other. Like, they should not be in the same division. There should always be a men's division, or I guess a male division, and a female division. Because, like, a man's private parts is just his crotch. However, that would technically include the breasts of a woman as well, right? Because I'm allowed to punch a guy in the chest, but am I allowed to punch a woman in her chest as well if it was in this fighting way or not? Like, that's actually a really good question that it asks. Am I allowed to grab Ranfan by the breasts and throw her away? Or is that not allowed? Like, it's an interesting question. I don't know. Hey, you guys, let me know in the comments down below, alright? I would love to know what you guys think about this. It's just a question that I had, but, I mean, this show brought it up, and I was like, wait a minute, how does that work? That's a really good question. However, before the fights can begin, Goku wants some food. So, yeah, they have to make some food. I mean, the referee guy, which, finally, referee guy is introduced. You have no idea how much I heard his voice when playing, like, Dragon Ball video games way back when. I heard his voice so much. I think it was in Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. In, like, the world tournament stuff, the world martial arts tournaments that they had in that game. I heard his voice so much, so whenever I hear his voice, there's like this calming, soothing, but also happiness that appears within me. But Goku wants food, and then he asks Krillin if he wants some food, and Krillin is like, no. And the referee's like, are you sure if eating food is a good idea? And Goku's like, I don't care. So they make a bunch of food for Goku. This is that Saiyan nature that we don't know about yet. And then the battle begins. Krillin versus Bacteria. And Krillin initially holds his breath and tries to hold his own. However, once Bacteria uses one of his special techniques, the breath, Krillin cannot hold his breath anymore and starts to breathe and then smells the disgustingness of Bacterian. And to be honest, this fight is, I feel like one of the reasons why people really love Toriyama. Because, like, he thinks outside of the box, which could be on purpose or not. This is like if you make an offhanded comment, and then the writer of the thing actually sees it, and then writes that into the story as a reason. But we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, Krillin has some trouble. He gets beaten up because of the fact that he can't breathe because of the smell, even though they're outside. That's how disgusting he smells. Eventually, Krillin gets cornered and he tries to dive under Bacteria, which doesn't work because Bacteria sits on him and then jumps a bit and shakes his booty on top of Krillin, and also farts because Krillin tries to hold up, but then, you know, the fart blocks it. And Krillin is in a very bad position. He is about to lose until Goku points out, hey, Krillin, you don't have a nose. So Krillin's like, all right, I don't have a nose. And that basically causes Krillin to win after dodging the Loogie of Death. Krillin wins, and everyone, and I mean everyone, is happy because they don't have to smell him anymore. Now Bacteria can go home and just be gone. But I love how outside of the box thinking it is. I mean, you got this like disgusting individual, and then it's like all Krillin has to do is just remember that he doesn't have a nose because Toriyama never drew a nose on him, and that's all he needed to win. Basically, what he smelled wasn't actually something that he smelled. It was in his imagination. I love this fight so much. But yeah, that's the fight. Krillin advances, and the next episode we're gonna have Jackie Chun versus Yamcha, I guess. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode, and the humor that is in there as well, with Ranfan asking about her parts, which I got a couple of things to say about that, but I'm not allowed to on this channel, or really on any channel. And also the fact that, you know, we have this smelly guy against Krillin, the one guy who has no nose, so who is also the only person that can actually beat him. I love that stuff. So this episode was great, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about this episode. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I do hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out my Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I will be seeing you guys next week for Jackie Chun versus Yamcha. Bye!